because he wanted to, because he had to, because the salt would apparently kill him, according to his
Oh.
doctor, because he had a massive heart attack in like 1986. And
Where is he now? He fell into the ocean. There's salt everywhere.
so he was like, doctor was like, nah, no salt, no chocolate, no fat. You gotta, it was the 80s and stuff. So it was like, no fat, no salt. So for like the rest of his life, which was actually quite a long time, he lived until like 2000,
The boating accident.
what do you call those? The after the aughts, the teens?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he stuck around quite a while, and then there was the horrible, he was out trying to catch a marlin, and it just it was too big. It was a Jaws type situation where
He
he had
did
a
catch
real,
it, but
he had a
wouldn't reel it
monster. Well,
in.
actually, it caught him.
Yeah.
He had a
That's what
monster
they
on the
say.
line, and the marlin just into the sea, and then it was all the salt that eventually got old.
But for a bit there, he was fucking jet skiing on those big old size 13s he has. He was
Oh
just
yeah,
water skiing,
yeah,
jumping some flumes and some waves. It was pretty
yeah.
cool
We
sight to
thought. Well,
see.
here's the thing: the impact was so great when he hit the water, because you know how when you hit like the surface of the water, like if you jump
Mhm.
off a rock or a bridge or something. Oh, hopefully not a bridge. Maybe a
Yeah.
really small bridge. When you hit the water, you get that. I'm gonna go do it away from the mic, but you get that
Yeah.
when your body hits.
Yeah.
Slap, right? You do a belly flop into a pool. It was like that, but the hardest I'd ever seen. And we all thought immediately, oh, he's dead. Okay. I started writing the obituary, because I'm like
Yeah.
sort of the writer of the family, and other people were calling, making arrangements, whatever. And then out of nowhere, he just fucking breaches like a dolphin.
Ooh. I saw the footage on the shoulder cam VHS in the teens.
Yeah, my dad kept rolling. He would never stop rolling, and that he had a lot of problems. There was
Now,
definitely not the world's greatest dad, but a pretty damn good cameraman, sort of a documentarian, really.
I mean, but the investigation of whether it was actually saltwater or the buoy that he whacked into, if that's what got him, was it the buoy or was it the salt? That's a point of contention within the town.
Well, the problem is that he hit the buoy, because for a while, I mean, he was just like, I mean, he was like, I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but he was like the Fonz.
Right. He was.
He was like, hey, on those water skis, but he was barefoot water, so
size 13s, yeah.
In Happy Days, the Fonz goes water skiing, and he jumps over a shark, and that's where the saying "jumps the shark" comes from.
I know. I'm a big TV head.
In his
I know all about it.
In his leather jacket. So he's like the Fonz, man, out there, and we thought, oh wow, he's got it. This is gonna be great. And then he did a little bit of showboating, and he was like, oh, you thought I was dead? And guess what, motherfucker, I'm not. But when he was looking at us, he gave us a little salute. Yeah. That's when he hit the buoy. And I believe the autopsy later would say he dislocated both knees and both shoulders. So at that point, I believe he then ingested a lot of salt water.
Yeah. Well, they didn't describe in the obituary how his hands exploded, so he couldn't swim to shore because his hands exploded when he hit the buoy.
Yeah, right. Well, both hands and feet. Both exploded.
They were filled with salt, so it makes them like blow up, like balloon up when it's filled with salt. So they were more easily explodable when he hit that buoy.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, the autopsy said he didn't drown. It was the salt.
Yeah, it was not the water.
It was not the water.
They underlined that hard. They wanted to make that abundantly clear on that obituary and the death certificate. They underlined it, circled it, not the water.
Anyway, he was he loved white chocolate. Okay.